Hey kid, do a smartphone otoge.
Are you fucking kidding me? I just did a mobile game like last week. There is no way in hell I'm gonna do another one.
That's where you're wrong.
Huh? Who are you?
I'm you from the future, and you're gonna do another smartphone game right now.
Look, smartphone games just don't interest me, okay? I mean, it's like somebody took a game, chopped it into 20 fuck pieces, and then sold them back to you at $4 a slice. You wanna date this guy? $4. You wanna go on a date to the beach? $4. You wanna see what your kids will look like? $4. In the dozens of mobile games I've tried, I have never seen a game that wouldn't have been better on Steam. Hell, that's why Dogenzoka's putting all their shit onto the storefront, because more people will buy butt stuff with bishies if they can just pay $15 in one go. None of these games need to be apps. They're just sold like that to nickel and dime horny otaku chicks.
But what if there was a smartphone game about smartphones? You remember Cheritz, that Korean company who made the game about animals turning into boys, and that other game about ball-jointed dolls turning into boys?
Is this a game where you fuck phones?
No, it's a game that's set inside a virtual chat room. So instead of picking what you're gonna say to a guy, you're picking what you're gonna text him.
That sounds really fucking weird.
It is! And it is gonna completely take over your fucking life.
In Mystic Messenger, you play as you. After picking your screen name and avatar, you receive an anonymous message with directions to an upscale apartment. Upon arriving, you find the apartment abandoned, and as soon as you step inside, your phone auto-connects to a private chat room filled with eccentric weirdos. These aforementioned weirdos are the Rika Fundraising Association, RFA for short, an organization that holds massive extravagant charity balls where countless wealthy and creative people can come together and share their wealth for something. They tell you that the apartment you're in was their now deceased titular leader's base of operations, and the fact that you were able to enter means you may just be destined to take her place as a charismatic smartphone philanthropist. You soon fall headfirst into a maelstrom of romance, tragedy, betrayal, cat photos, conspiracies, fried chicken, unrequited love, and fish-shaped bread. Yep. This sure is a Cheritz game, alright, and as such, you can bet there are a whole lot of angsty plot twists and buried secrets under this veneer of memes and emojis. Questions like, who the anonymous messenger was, what does the RFA need so much money for, and does Jumin Han is gay? But before we get into all that, let's meet our mysterious members, shall we?
Characters Romance.
Zen, aka Hyunryu. God, I hope I pronounced that right. An albino Adonis who works as a musical theater actor, which is apparently a really big deal in Korea. He's got a cult following and a blue steel smolder that'd melt the panties off the Statue of Liberty, but he's been a bachelor for a good few years. Acting is his life, and he feels like he'd be too busy perfecting his craft to give a lover the attention she'd need. Still, that doesn't stop him from relentlessly hitting on you, as well as posting shirtless photos to, brighten your day. Nevertheless, this seemingly self-absorbed dingus is a sensitive soul who just really, really wants to find someone he can make a connection with. He's also slightly psychic and ridiculously allergic to cats. Other than that, I'm not sure what to say. He's cool and really hot and all, but, and I'm risking the unbridled hate of the internet here, he's probably the least interesting of the 5 dateable characters. He's not a bad character, he's just kind of there most of the time, and kind of overshadowed by the rest. Probably because he's the least crazy. Next up is Yoo-Sung Kim. Let me know if this sounds familiar. The youngest member of the cast is a doe-eyed blonde twink whose seemingly upbeat and adorable personality hides a whole lot of attachment issues. That said, while he may seem uncannily similar to nameless blonde baby, Yu-sung is actually a far different flavor of crazy. He's a bright and talented college student who's recently fallen into a debilitating, life-consuming MMO addiction. See, Yu-sung was Rika's cousin, and after her death, he's gotten stuck in a bit of a rut. With no one to look up to, Yu-sung is feeling downtrodden and directionless, wondering just what kind of person he wants to grow up into. He's sentimental, clingy, gullible, and just all around adorbs. I just want to, ruffle his hair and then hit him in the face with one of those cartoon pies. Jae-hee Kang, my waifu. The RFA's only other female member is a frazzled and frightfully overworked office lady who's always at her wit's end trying to keep the smorgasbord of dorks in the RFA in check. She's so stressed out that the only way she can take the edge off is by consuming near-lethal amounts of caffeine and binge-watching Zen's musical DVDs, and collecting photos of Zen, and making blog posts about Zen. She's a bit of a fangirl is what I'm saying. Zen, you gorgeous son of a bitch! Stop trying to muscle in on my woman! This is supposed to be the gay route! Now, some folks think Jae-hee's route isn't as gay as it could be, and that's probably true. But holy crap, it's definitely as gay as a company in Korea can get away with in a mainstream dating game, which is still incredibly freaking gay. Jae-hee is an absolute cinnamon roll of a sweetheart, and no matter which route you're trying to go for, it is infinitely tempting to just take her under your wing and give her a blanket and a cup of cocoa. I'm gay-hee for Jae-hee because she is bae-hee. Joo-min Han, corporate heir and cat mom. Jae-hee's stoic boss is literally so rich that he barely even qualifies as human. You know how in anime, you get those girls who are like, "What is this Burger King? Where's Burger? Is it in Europe?" That's pretty much Joo-min to a T, except that his privilege-induced ignorance isn't just limited to fast food and pop culture. He finds it hard to understand the other members, especially when they're concerned about things like career advancement, college plans, or psychological stress, which makes him absolutely hilarious in some routes and downright insufferable in others. He's got some pretty big trust issues, as well as a vaguely misogynistic streak, as his father's tendency to fuck a different girl every month has left him seeing women as shallow and greedy. His only real friend is his cat, Elizabeth III, a snow-white purebred Persian whom he treats like a princess. Despite his offbeat and almost robotic attitude, deep down, Joo-min is still really fucking weird. Like many Cheritz characters, he starts off as a one-note joke, but once you actually get onto his route, oh boy. Although really, that could be said for just about any of our characters, especially this next guy. 707, aka Lucille Choi, aka the dude who's on the app's icon. 7 is, well, where do I start? He's a copper-top hacker genius, meme lord, cross-dresser, cat lover, secret agent, tech support guy? 7 claims to have created the game itself, and frequently breaks the fourth wall because he can. He's a hyperactive troll who loves driving all the other members up the wall, but when the chips are down and it's time to be serious, he's still a fucking memer because he's Hacker God 7, and that's how he rolls. Like a boss. And if you think that reference is old and cringy, boy are you in for a treat, because this guy is a goddamn fountain of dead internet jokes. Of course, once you dig deep beneath his corny jokes and over-the-top exterior, you'll discover a rich vein of tonal whiplash and extremely depressing backstory, because Cheritz! Finally, we have V. The late Rika's fiancé is now the de facto leader of the RFA. What does he do? How come he's never actually online? Why does he look like Dave Strider with blue hair? All of these things are a mystery.
He's pretty much the most important character who doesn't have a root, to the point where some fans are trying to petition Cheritz to add one in. As for whether that'll actually happen, we'll see. But in the meantime, let's talk about how this plays.
Gameplay.
Mystic Messenger takes place over 11 days, mainly inside of a fictional smartphone app designed by Seven, which functions as a phone, a private chat room, an email account, a texting service, and a flying psychic spaceship thing. You start by choosing the casual story, which comprises Zen, Jaehee, and Yusung's route, or the deep story, Jumin and Seven's routes, which is locked at the beginning of the game. You'll spend most of your time in the chat room, where at set times during the day, chat threads pop up, consisting of short conversations between RFA members. Clicking on a chat will allow you to participate in the conversation, and like any other visual novel, you're given a handful of choices to choose what you want to say back to the other members. If what you say tickles the fancy of a particular character, a color-coded heart will pop up, letting you know you've earned some brownie points.
Seven claims the chat room was designed specifically for business purposes, but well, 90% of the chats are about what everyone ate for lunch, what Jumin's cat is up to, what new dungeons Yusung's been raiding, and Zen's countless fucking selfies. So, just like a real chat room.
Once the convo's over, you click sign to save the game. Pretty simple, right? Here's the catch. The game takes place in real time, and you only have a set window of opportunity to participate in a chat, or else it'll just happen without your input. The game keeps track of how many conversations you've missed, and if your completion percentage is too low, you'll get a bad ending. The game is split up into 11 days of gameplay, and aside from the first day, each of them will have about 11 chats for you to catch. Most of them are pretty convenient, but each day will typically have at least 2 chats that take place before 3 a.m., followed by a chat at about 8 or 9 in the morning. Hope you don't like sleep! Fortunately, this game is a lot more forgiving than Nameless was. You don't even have to be much of a dick to the characters you don't want to date, just prioritize the one you want, and things should be pretty easy. For the first 4 days, you're on the common route, filled with love, laughter, and shitty internet jokes as you work to gain affection for your chosen partner. At the end of day 4, you'll hit a caution mark, where the game will split off into a particular route. Or into a bad end.
There are still bad endings, but getting them is almost kinda hard. The only rule I can give is that if you want a good ending, support your lover when it comes to their aspirations, and don't be fucking crazy and awful. Except on Jumin's route, where the best strategy is to do whatever he says no matter how fucking stupid it sounds.
Once you're on a particular route, you'll notice the emergence of conversations labeled visual novel mode, which are more traditional segments that take place outside of the chat room, though they're usually saved for the game's darkest and most dramatic moments. When you're not participating in chats, you'll probably be answering emails from potential party guests, ranging from the local cat shelter to the astronomy club, to an evil crazy eye doctor, to Colonel Sanders, Benadryl Cabbage Batch, and Gordon Cocking Ramsay. Potential guests will email you questions, ranging from your opinion on golf equipment to your favorite brand of aspirin to, and I quote, meow meow, meow meow long cat meow, meow 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 meow. You have to figure out how to answer, and if they like the cut of your jib, they'll go.
In an average playthrough, you'll be emailed by just over 30 people, and you need at least 10 of them to attend in order to get a good ending. Which is good the bar's set so freaking low, because dear Jesus, some of these questions make no fucking sense.
You can also reply to texts from the members, which net you a couple of bonus hearts, and you can get phone calls, which don't earn you anything, but oh my god, it is so cute hearing all these pre-recorded messages. There's nothing quite like getting a call from Seven and hearing him try to prank you, or getting a call from Yusung where he excitedly talks about how much he wants to meet you, or getting a call from Jaehee and hearing her say literally anything ever. God damn, I'm gay for Jaehee. At the top of the app are these little chibi icons with each member's status and banner, which, 9 times out of 10, are just shit posts. And there's a little spaceship at the bottom of the screen which provides random thoughts from RFA members, which are always shit posts. Once the spaceship reaches the bag of honey butter chips on the right, it spits out a random drop of hearts. And supposedly hourglasses too. Oh, hourglasses? Those serve as an in-game currency that you buy with real money. They're used for pretty much everything. Participating in chats you missed, fast-forwarding through routes, making phone calls to the characters, unlocking bonus epilogue scenes, unlocking 2 of the game's 5 routes. Yeah, it costs 80 hourglasses to unlock the deep story and get Jumin and Seven's sides of the whole thing. And another 140 hourglasses to unlock the final ending, which explains everything and is deeply, deeply stupid. So yeah, Mystic Messenger technically is free to play, but it's basically impossible to get through the entire game without spending any cash. Overall, though, I'd say the game's economy is pretty fair. I spent about as much on Mystic Messenger as I did on Nameless, and that was using a ton of hourglasses because I am impatient as fuck.
Presentation.
The art in this game is freaking great! The character designs are iconic, the sprites are expressive as hell, and the backgrounds just burst with personality. It's almost kind of a shame that you don't see how great the art is most of the time, because for 90% of any given playthrough, you'll be looking at this. That said, it's not as if the chat room is ugly. Time-shifting sky background, chill music, adorable custom emojis that each character uses to express their thoughts. It makes reading through these massive, drawn-out e-conversations feel lively and fun. Somehow Cheritz managed to nail the presentation so well that reading hundreds of thousands of words of meme banter is just as much fun as hanging out in a real group chat. Well, except for the fact that I can't say fuck. The majority of the soundtrack is made up of soft, inoffensive lounge music. Look at my fucking cat! But when the elevator jazz cuts out, you know shit's going down. Maybe it'll be some big confession, or a moment of tenderness, or literally a fucking bomb. I really do enjoy the game's music, and I'd love to get a hold of the soundtrack. But, much like Amnesia, the only way to get it right now is to buy the super duper VIP Otome Addict God Tier Fangirl Package Deluxe, featuring art book, character goods, OST, and probably some other shit I forgot to mention. And as much as I would love to get my hands on all that, I don't really have $70 to spare right now. But I would have $70 if you contribute to our Patreon. Better equipment, more games to review, and food to keep me alive and shit. Donating money via Patreon is a great way to make sure that we'll be able to keep reviewing Otoge for the long term. So if you want to see me talk about bishies, consider throwing us a couple bucks a month. And if you haven't guessed already, I love this game's UI. It's so damned intuitive, and it looks so slick and visually appealing that it looks like a real app. A real fake app. Yeah.
Final thoughts.
You know, I wasn't even planning on reviewing this game until next year, but over the past few weeks, it's gotten to the point where... Fuck! Really? I told you. Yeah, I admit, I love this game. Mostly. It kinda sucks having to stay up till 3 a.m., and I'm really not sure how I feel about the final ending. I'm not gonna spoil anything, aside from the fact that it's just really fucking dumb. Like 6 different Korean dramas got into a massive intellectual car crash with each other, and the end result is just weird. But you know what? I don't care. Despite the occasional flaws, I love this game. I love Jaehee, Yoosung, Zen, Jumin, and Seven. I love the little emojis. I love chatting. I love getting phone calls. I just love it. You've got at least 5 distinct endings per route. The script for this game has almost as many words in it as Stephen King's The Stand. That's fucking nuts. There's over 60 hours of voice recording. The CG gallery has more than 200 images, including rare CGs that you unlock only after making the right choice at the right time. There are guests to collect, bonus phone calls to make, not to mention a ton of Easter eggs, and even a few references to Cherit's older work. This game is massive. This is gonna sound a little like what I said about Backstage Pass, but when you look at the majority of smartphone Otome games, they're near identical low-budget money sinks, pumped out by companies at a rate of almost one a month, meant to trick fans into spending hundreds of dollars on cartoon bishies. But Mystic Messenger is different because it's designed from the ground up to be a game that could only be done right as a smartphone app. This isn't just a standard visual novel that's been squooshed down to fit on a tiny screen. It's a real-time interactive experience that would not be possible to pull off on a PC or a console. It's hard to put into words, but there's something about getting a real voice message from the character you've been romancing asking you how your day was, or what your hobbies are. Something about the idea of the CGs being selfies and snapshots, and the fact that the characters make typos when they're scared or upset or distracted. It's so good. And in fact, even once this review's out, I'm still gonna keep playing to see all the bad ends and alternate dialogue. And cat photos. This is the first smartphone Otome game that I would thoroughly recommend to everyone. I've even seen people who've never played an Otome game before pick this thing up and love it. I have non-Otoge friends who are making cosplay of Zen and Seven, and it's just nuts. This game is practically a meme right now because it is that freaking amazing. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to work on getting Jumin's kinky ending. Oh, and by the way, make sure you're getting enough to eat, okay? This is Special Agent Kid, signing out. Thanks for watching the episode, guys. If you want to see more Otome-Nia, click the links above. On the left is our first ever smartphone review, the Osantastic Pub Encounter. And on the right is the Season 2 premiere, the star-studded Backstage Pass. And if you really like what we do, consider checking out our Patreon so that we can bring you more bishies.